Hey guys, Ribose here, and today we're talking about two molecules. We're talking about DNA and a new molecule called RNA. So let's go and take a look at the difference between these two. If you haven't already, go ahead and make this chart in your notes. And first we have DNA, which is deoxyribonucleic acid. And if you remember, deoxyribo is referring to the sugar, and that sugar is deoxyribose. When we look at RNA, we have ribonucleic acid. And that ribo is referring to the sugar in RNA, which is slightly different, very similar, but slightly different. That is just ribose, okay? So the first difference is DNA has deoxyribose, and that's in its backbone. And RNA has the sugar, just ribose. And that helps to make the backbone of RNA. DNA is a double strand. So if we look at this image, DNA is two-stranded, and RNA is only a single strand. It's only one strand. Okay? And lastly, hopefully you guys can see that. There you go. Lastly, the nucleotides are slightly different. We know in DNA we have adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Well, in RNA it's the same nucleotides except thymine is replaced with one called uracil. Okay. So just to clarify on the difference between deoxyribose and ribose, we know that both of these molecules are sugars because they end in ose. Anything that ends in ose is a sugar. But now if we look at their composition, we can see that deoxyribose has a hydrogen and ribose has an oxygen and hydrogen. Okay. So since deoxyribose does not have the oxygen present at this position, we say it's deoxyribose, or it's lacking that oxygen. Okay, so deoxyribose does not have that oxygen, whereas ribose does. If we look at these two nucleotides, we can already tell that this nucleotide is from DNA because of the backbone, and this nucleotide is from RNA for two reasons. We can see one, the sugar, the backbone of the sugar, or the sugar in the backbone, and the nucleotide that's present, uracil. We're only going to find uracil in RNA. Okay? Now, clear that off. Now, sometimes we'll see later on this week that RNA can pair with DNA, so they will complement each other. But how is that so when RNA doesn't have thymine? Well, just like thymine and adenine are complementary, adenine and uracil are also complementary. So they can pair together. So remember I said for DNA we have apples and trees, cars and garages. Well, for RNA, we could change this to apples. So adenine, apples with Mr. Udall. There you go. So A with U. Adenine pairs with uracil. Okay. Now there's three types of RNA that we're going to talk about. The first one is messenger RNA. And the good thing about RNA is the different types, it puts their job right in the name. So first we have mRNA, which stands for messenger RNA. And simply all mRNA does is it carries a message. It's going to carry information from DNA. We're going to talk more about that later this week. Here's a picture of our mRNA molecule, our single strand. Next we have tRNA, or transfer RNA. And what transfer RNA is going to do is it's going to transfer a single amino acid. It's going to carry one amino acid with it. And here's two different images of tRNA. And you can see that even though it's got this weird shape to it, it's still a single strand, okay? It's still a single strand, and this is the amino acid that it's carrying with it, okay? So that's the amino acid on both of them, okay? We'll talk more about mRNA, actually all the RNAs later on this week. And the third type of RNA that we're going to talk about is rRNA, or ribosomal RNA. Now, what ribosomal RNA is, it's what makes up ribosomes, okay? So this is one image of a ribosome, and here's a more realistic one. And this would be all the different the RNAs that's coiled together to form the ribosome. Okay. These two types of RNA is what we're going to talk about mostly, mRNA and tRNA.